I don't. Well, there was no choice really, because when you live with real people, you have to be real. And native people, they live in a very simple, quite real environment, and they have to be themselves. They can't be something else because that's the way to survive in the rainforest. And I realized that I needed to communicate my depth to the people, and not just I'm here to save the rainforest, I'm here to help you. I have to see the deeper perspective of why am I here in the middle of the rainforest. It's not even the place I was born and grew up in. What brought me here? I understood the older it was explained to me that I'm there in the rainforest. I feel like I'm there today to help come to some sort of understanding about myself rather than trying to save the people. And the understanding was how can I bring native knowledge that I could see into the perspective of the Western world. I had to experience that within myself, to go off the social ideas and put the projections aside and to the belief systems and addiction to fear, that is one big thing that people don't understand, but we live in a very fear-based culture where we are conflicting with the laws of nature all the time to support the idea of who we are within the little context of the Western culture. And I believe that we're much more. And I needed to see that.
So you had to let go of your survival
fear. And the fear of opening up and being intimate with nature and being close to the forces of nature without hiding behind a mask. And, people, when they go into the rainforest, all sorts of dangers, real dangers, and there is no
it's so noisy.
musically noisy.
You cannot escape the noise.
Exactly. Every animal is singing a song, every insect is alive with energy, and even the feeling of nature is alive with such ecstatic energy. It's difficult to hide behind your mind's pictures, to be partaking in what's going on. You need to be real, you need to be present. In the beginning, that was very difficult for me because I loved nature and I studied nature, but I was not able to approach it in a way that native people showed to be so easy and so beautiful to me. How they walked, how they related to everything around them. I just couldn't do that within myself in a real sense. I could pretend that I was in harmony with nature, but the reality was I was looking out. Is there a snake? Is there scorpions? Is there this? Is there that? Because that's what the mind is afraid. Anything that it doesn't understand or can't control. And you can't control nature.
I saw a few years ago a movie, I don't know if you saw it, it was called ASMRy. And it was about a family, an American family. They moved he was transferred to Brazil, to the rainforest, to build a dam. And they had a little boy. And the tribes in the rainforest were observing what they were doing. And they felt so sorry for this little boy, because they thought he needs to grow up in nature. So they kidnapped him, and he grew up in nature, and there was this scene where the boy was about 12 years old, and he had to go through an initiation. And he had to dive down into a pool, in a pond, do all kinds of things. And what was so touching for me was the mother, the adopted mother, stood there and said to him, I will never see you this way. Which meant you are not allowed to come back again. You are only allowed to come back into the tribe and I think we are missing something like that in our culture.
We act as children, not spoiled children, towards nature and towards the beauty of living. And I think that's what tribal people have, that they haven't lost. And that is what we can learn from how to look at rituals and mutilations in a way that are useful and to create possibility for us to move beyond certain limitations and new perspectives. That is what appreciation, as you say, we can grow into being fully part of the community, whichever community we live in, and be productive, useful, and part of that joy, other than, always wanting to take away from it. That sounds like a very interesting story.
Yes.
Really?
If you haven't seen it yet, you probably would like it. So, you had such a passion and some opportunity for true nature, in the aspect of life and Mother Earth, and also spiritual. And how can you just tell us, I don't remember now how much you said in the first interview, how you come to realize
nature is something that you all love and feel at home and relate to in a way that is universal. And I think that's a beautiful thing, because it takes us beyond our differences. When anyone looks at a sunset or looks at a beautiful ocean or mountains, we feel a connection to the world that is very difficult to, say I'm this or I'm that. It's just universal. So I feel that is something that children love nature, and it's a pity in the Western world that we are so far removed from the natural laws of nature and how to do things in harmony with nature. So for me, my teacher is the brain and important realm into spirituality, because it is part of spirituality. When you let go of the way the mind controls perspectives and the way the mind likes to see things, then we become more natural. When we become more natural, we are much more able to understand how nature is a teacher. Every aspect of nature brings some sort of quality that can be part of who you are. And this is very, very especially in children.
I think you had a grandmother who was teaching you nature, wasn't it?
Exactly.
I had the same grandmother.
Exactly, and this is the reason why I had a love for nature, because from a very early age it was shown in a real sense the value of nature, and how to go back to nature when things are disharmonious within them. So this is always what I did. If there was conflict in the family, or if there was something that created disharmony around me, I would always go to nature, sit under a tree, or I just lie in the garden, or do something where the harmony in nature created a more balanced perspective about the whole thing. Then just being present in my grandmother was different, may influence to remind us to say that not only do you have to relax to nature and come back to harmony with yourself and nature, but also that you have to be active in utilizing the natural forces in nature to heal and to change aspects that we believe that we can only do by ourselves. And this is what I was fish in the Amazon forest. I was taught how to use natural remedies to cleanse the body and how to let go of certain blocks in the body. For example, fear somehow pollutes or toxins that hold you so tightly together that you feel that you're encased in with toxins or something, whatever it is.
I wasn't reading John Christoph or Meister Eckhart. Those guys, and so I assumed that I was a very ordinary person. Therefore, if it happened to me, it could happen to anyone. That really instead of a very ordinary person. People like him, I like to say, really not. Somebody else will be very different. And that's I keep getting attached to whatever they make three people come from my school, and the other two get a money. And people take psilocybin and say something like that, they go like that, something like that. Well, I think a good metaphor for it would be duality. Apparently, there are some people who cannot take it or leave it, and others of it, it rears its ugly head with great presence. Yeah, everybody has to know that as I get older, I lose the world. But it's the other thing. At least some stage of my life that I'm doing well. I hope never. How's my name? No, just inspiring. Actually, I live the life of an ascetic. It's my aspirations that are cool. Well, see, the nice thing about this evolutionary art is that you can sort of make the snake stick its tail in its mouth, because the escape is not going to become get into an arcade recursion of some sort. We once knew everything we need to know. So what we are trying to find out is lost knowledge, not knowledge. And if you direct people back towards 10,000, 20,000, they see a kind of institution that an opening that teachers seem to be a good thing to use time in that way, because it makes the artifacts of that period seem to be valued as opposed to the artifacts of this period. It seems to me that not science fiction, but science fiction can also be very compassionate. It can be very historically relevant. It doesn't have to be, it's just using a different set of artifacts to work with. I see most of what happened in the 20th century as being unconsciously driven by this fascination of the art theory. Deconstruct the hard into realism into a feeling of things is very aesthetical, Victorian and Oregon. Then Freud to do it. Jung and Freud have to talk about repressed, primitive, sexual imagining. Jung talks about folklore, fairy tales, mythology. Meanwhile, the Dada, the realist starts saying we need to break up the linear expectations of the bourgeois mind. I think we should aware of this. Because I just look into two minds and I see two different ones. And those are all just this one. How I feel. Like I have to spend a manual, that has no body. And in manuals, you learn to learn to get the absolute state. That's a very profound thing. It's like taking up and the curriculum of life. Any life, it is the exploration of the cleaning of mind within the world. So the exploring life is the exploring life with the current substance in the sense of returning back into the garden. It's a return. There is a return metaphor. And I'm sure you're asking this all the time. So maybe we give different answers. Psychedelic fashion to have passed on the global situation. I just think that I don't really have an opinion whether it will or won't, but I see it going away. I it's too late as far as the rainforest. They may not be the only miracle. Aren't they? They are. I don't know. I think they may have already done what they need to do. I think in effort, I think what is done is so much more powerful than anybody yet recognized. See, I see this as all the instructions in the process of transformation. The question is whether it's together in the process of transformation. And that's why all I'm interested in is becoming a person and helping others become a person who, in the process of the dramatic stuff, will keep some equanimity, some love, and some presence. But that psychedelics may play a role in that. So you're right, that's good. Mine is something trying to think about how psychedelics creates the presence of the mind. It's all boundary. Yes, and the ego is in the position of the our inability to emotionally connect with the consequences of what we're doing. What we're doing, we would stop. Take images that all of us know of the girl running down the street naked, or something like that. That was, it wasn't like a year ago, but it wasn't stop everybody. So what would be strong to do that? And you say, psychedelics, but that's been a one-on-one major game players at this point. Put time into your computer. Either you're spraying it or water or some other level of consciousness. There is a certain level of not 3 Mile Island, not Chernobyl. I'm more creative with my mind. but I can imagine a certain trauma, like in Marin, that's almost that trauma, that's denied.
The character is already there. Child is not born tabula rasa as one as you. The child is born as a hypothetical, existing permanently, that never waves through the whole life, and that gives child his character already in development childhood. A mother recognizes the individuality of her child. And so if you observe carefully, you see a tremendous difference even in very small details. And this peculiarity is expressed themselves in every way. So if first peculiarity is expressed themselves in all childish activities, the way how it feels and the things in there are children who are tremendously interested in all moving things and in movement chiefly. All the things you see that affect the body. And so they are interested in what the eyes do, what the ears do, how you can go into the nose with your finger, you know. Now you see interest express themselves in typically childish children, and later on they express themselves in other peculiarities, which are still the same, but it doesn't come from the fact that they once have done such a thing in childhood. It is the character that is doing it. There is a definite inherent complexity. We are formed into a pattern. We are a pattern. We are a structure that is pre-established through the genes. It is a biological order of our mental function. As our biological or physiological function follows a pattern. Or the behavior of any bird or insect follows a pattern, and that is based in us. Man has a certain pattern that is missing specifically human, and no man is born without it. We are only deeply unconscious of these patterns because we live all by ourselves, outside of ourselves. If a man can look into his inside, and when a man discovers it, in our days, he thinks it's crazy. And a living thing. Because we want to figure it out. Sure, like this, you see. So we reduce the infinite wiggliness of the world to grasps or bits. We're getting back to biting, you see, the idea of the teeth. To grasp the thought. And so we thereby describe in terms of things, just as that fisherman could describe his view by the number of nephilim through which the view was shown. And this has been the immensely and apparently successful enterprise of all technological culture, superbly emphasized by ourselves. When we look deeply, we can see that the flame is hidden somewhere in the box. Also outside of the box, there is oxygen. We know very well that without oxygen, the flame cannot manifest. And the flame might be in my ears. So with practices, I can offer one last condition for the flame to manifest. So when we practice looking at people, you will see things that other people don't see. You say, my dear little flame, I know you are there. I don't qualify you as non-existent, even before your manifestation. And you can hear the flame say, yes, you are right. And we tell the flame, dear little flame, I will bring another condition for you to manifest. I know you are there, please manifest yourself. And the flame manifests.
Well, that's absurdly easy. And I say absurd because it's so apparent once you begin to look at it with what I call a different overview, from another perspective, look at it. It's best described as you come here as a vortex of energy, and I might add as an alien to this Earth life system. You don't belong here, so you try to change it. Humans try to change it. They don't like the way trees are planted, so they plant them in rows when this system says do it this way, and they want it a nice way. That's typical. But why do we come to this thing we call Earth and live on Earth and be human? Very, very fascinating but obvious answer. The more you look at it, the more obvious it becomes to you. And that is that you came here to learn. Now, why did you come to learn? These are nice, neat questions. Why did you come to learn? You came to learn a measurement system. This is a system of opposites, of polarities, and we quickly give them labels like positive and negative, good, bad, these kinds of things. We learn this measurement system, very important. We learn the system of measurement, and a great system of measurement that we learned is pain, pleasure. And we know how in the world could you know pleasure if you didn't know pain? The most boring thing that you would do is have a very even life with no pain or no pleasure. You couldn't stand it. You've got to have these, and we search for those. Pain and pleasure. We go out of our way. So if you think in terms of the whole concept of living here and learn measurements, now that's the first. The second is very interesting, is that you learn to manipulate energy. I move my arms like this, my hands, I move my eyes and so on. I'm manipulating energy to do that. That's a use of 5 or 6 types of energy that let me move my arms. And we learn these very automatically. And I can tell you from deep personal experience that simple ability that we take so much for granted of learning to manipulate energy is incredibly valuable in other energy systems. You'd be amazed how much value that we think of ordinary things. Keeping your balance, for example. We automatically learn how to stay balanced in this Vedic pattern. But there, it's wonderful. We use these kinds of things. So these are the 2 key things, but most important things. we come here to learn and acquire an intellect. And intellect, we acquire, intelligence is not enough of the word, an intellect, an analytical ability. We come here to learn that. We use the metaphor left brain. We learn to acquire a left brain by living here in Asia. That's the real valuable tool. So you think that combination puts together a being that is a super being, and that's true, except the terrible thing that happens, as they say, on the way to the source. We think we come and learn this, and we think we will go and take off and go back where we came from. With all of it.
So it's a choice, really. Because when you live with real people, you have to be real. And native people, they live in a very simple, quite real environment. And they have to be themselves. They can't be something else because that's the way to survive in the rainforest. And, I realized that I needed to communicate my depth to the people and not just, I'm here to save the rainforest or I'm here to help you. I had to see the deeper perspective of why am I here in the middle of the rainforest. It's not even the place I was born or grew up in. What brought me here? And I understood, and also it was explained to me that I'm there in the rainforest. I feel like I'm there today to help come to some sort of understanding about myself rather than try to save the people. And the understanding was, how can I bring native knowledge that I could see, I could feel, into the perspective of the Western world. So I had to experience that within myself, to let go of the social ideas and to the projections that I had and to the belief systems and addictions to fear. That is one big thing that Western people, don't understand. But we live in a very fear-based culture, where we are conflicting with the laws of nature all the time to support the idea of who we are within that little context of the Western culture. And I believe that we're much more. And I needed to see that.
So you had to let go of your survival
fear. And the fear of opening up and being intimate with nature and being close to the forces of nature without, hiding behind a mask. And, people, when they go into the rainforest, there's all sorts of creatures and dangers, real dangers,
And there's no silence.
And there is no silence.
It's so noisy.
Musically noisy.
You cannot escape the noise.
Exactly. Every animal is singing a song, every insect is, alive with energy. And even the feeling of nature is alive with such ecstatic energy. It's difficult to hide behind your mind pictures. To be partaker in what's going on, you need to be real, you need to be open. In the beginning, that was very difficult for me because I loved nature and I studied nature, but I was not able to approach it in the way that native people showed to be so easy and so beautiful to me, how they walked, how they related to everything around them. I just couldn't do that within myself in a real sense. I could pretend that I was, whoever in harmony with nature, but the reality is I was looking out, you know, is there a snake, is there scorpions, is there this, is there that, you know, because that's what the mind does, it's afraid of anything that it doesn't understand or can't control. And you can't control nature.
I saw a few years ago a movie, I don't know if you saw it, it was called Emerald Story. And it was about a family, an American family. They moved, but he was transferred to Brazil, to a rainforest, to build, I think it's called dam, in the water dam. And they had a little boy. And the tribes in the rainforest were observing what they were doing. And they felt so sorry for this little boy, for the kidnapping, because they thought he needs to grow up in nature. So they kidnapped him, and he grew up in nature, and there was this scene where the boy was about 12 years old, and he had to go through an initiation. And he had to dive down into a pool in a pond and get something and do all kinds of things. And what was so touching for me was the mother, the adopted mother, stood there and said to him, I will never see my little boy again. Which meant you are not allowed to come back as a boy. You are only allowed to come back into this tribe as a grown-up. And I think we are missing something like that in our culture.
I believe that we act as children, not spoiled children, towards nature and towards the beauty of it. And I think that's what tribal people say, that they haven't lost. And that is what we can learn from how to look at rituals and initiations in a way where they're useful and sacred and create a possibility for us to move beyond certain limitations into a new perspective. That is what initiation is. As you say, you know, we can grow into being fully part of the community, whichever community we live in, and be productive and useful and part of that joy, other than, you know, always wanting to take away from nature so that we support ourselves. That sounds like a very interesting film.
Yes.
Really?
If you haven't seen it yet, you probably would like it. So, you have such a passion, comes across in your book for true nature, you know, in the aspect of life and Mother Earth, and also spiritual life. And how can you just tell us? I don't remember now how much you said in the first interview. How you come to realize that true nature?
I think nature is something that we, you know, all love and feel at home and relate to in a way that is universal. And I think that's a beautiful thing because it takes us beyond our differences. You know, when anyone looks at a sunset or looks at a beautiful ocean or mountains, you know, we feel a connection to the world that is very difficult to, you know, say I'm this or I'm that. It's just universal. So I feel that is something that children love. You know, they love nature, and it's a pity in the Western world that we are so far removed from the natural laws of nature and how to do things in harmony with nature. So for me, my teacher is to bring that important realm into spirituality, because it is part of spirituality. You know, when you let go of the way the mind controls perspectives and the way the mind likes to see things, then we become more natural. We become ourselves. And when we become more natural, we are much more able to understand how nature is a teacher. every aspect of nature brings some sort of quality that can be part of who you are. And this is for me, a very, very important part of the teaching, and especially in children.
I think you had a grandmother who was teaching nature, wasn't it?
Exactly.
I had the same grandmother.
Exactly, and this is the reason why I have the love for nature, because from a very early age I was shown in a real sense the value of nature, and how to go back to nature when things were disharmonious within me. So this is always what I did. If there was a conflict in the family, or if there was something that created disharmony around me, I would always go to nature, sit under a tree, or I'd just lie in the garden, or do something where that harmony in nature created a more balanced perspective about the whole thing, or just being present. The main influence to allow me to understand that not only you have to relax, but you have to come back to harmony yourself and nature, but also that you can be actively utilizing the natural forces of nature to heal and control aspects that we believe that we can only do ourselves.
Det finns inte något trådlöst system som fungerar i varje fall.